being last, having to follow some amazing projects. So I'm going to try anyway. Thanks for the introduction. I mean, today basically is going to get to know me a little bit better. My work, is really inseparable from who I am as a person and where I've been and what I've done. That's what makes me who I am, and that's what makes really my design what it is. And I think the best way to just give you an introduction is just to show you my desk. This is a complete mess of cables and parts, and obsession is maybe a soft word for what I have. But I really enjoy breaking things and then trying to rebuild them to tell a story. And I might not be alone in this. It turns out that we've all gone from consumers of media to actual producers of content. We got the tools and we started sharing our lives online. We started telling our own stories. And then we started making our own tools. Artists have been doing this type of storytelling for years. And I want to use this opportunity to tell you my story and show you how I'm doing it through technology. Back in 2010, I was forced to leave my home country, Venezuela. It's a beautiful place, but it's just descended into chaos and violence. Last year alone, over 24,000 people lost their lives to violent crime. This year, it's going to be over 27,000. That's one person every 20 minutes. My work is addressing this number, but hopefully it's going beyond the raw data. I wanted to create an emotional experience. I wanted people to feel the frustration and the helplessness that I felt knowing this is happening around me. So I built a murder machine. It's a machine that would create a real-time stream of all these murders that are happening in Venezuela. A machine that goes through newspaper headlines and rearranges them to speculate on the details of every new murder. Since January 1st, the machine has been, every 20 minutes, reporting on the death of a different person by producing a receipt. Sometimes the bus driver, sometimes the school teacher. Nobody knows who's next. And just imagine living with this fear, knowing that this is happening all over, and there's really nothing you can do to protect yourself. The only thing that all these people have in common is that they're in one place, Venezuela. As of 7 p.m. today, when the conference started, it's logged close to 13,000 murders for this year, and it's been printed a receipt over 500 feet long. Now, this constant fear and uncertainty is really unbearable to live with. That's why I had to leave, but a lot of people have started protesting in Venezuela. A lot of my fellow students, a lot of my friends, these are them, these are those guys. You know, they're over there and I'm over here. Imagine my frustration knowing that I'm not there with them, fighting for my rights and defending my home. And recently, the government has begun responding to these protests with violence and just abuse from military and police forces. And when I heard that they were blocking social media to try and stifle the protests, I knew I had to do something. So I took a small wireless router and created a localized darknet. It's called SOS Venezuela. I shipped this to Caracas to serve as a portable, self-sustaining network that would help activists communicate during an internet blackout. It's used to report crimes, abuse, and to just document their struggles. This person in the circle, that's a friend of mine, he has the actual device and has deployed it in several rallies where people have used it. And once it was up and running, the images just started pouring in. Within 4 days, we had over 500 different images in which we could identify 40 different crimes that had taken place during these protests. These images then became the fuel that fed my third and last project for my thesis, which is invisible protests. Basically what I'm doing is collecting the images and presenting them in an ethereal way. I use an Arduino to reproduce all these images pixel by pixel, line by line, using a string of LED lights. A camera then captures that light and creates a new image. in real size and in a completely different context. By doing this, you could witness a Venezuelan protester setting a tire on fire around the corner on 18th and 6th. Or you could see a woman being brutally beaten by a National Guard in front of a Shake Shack on Madison Square. These images, their goal is to bridge that geographical gap that separates our two countries and pose the question, if it were here, would it matter? Would we all be talking about it then? From this process, I learned a few things about my design. And the first is that collaboration and open source knowledge are the two most important tools that any designer needs to have today. I also learned that breaking things leads to amazing insights into the problems that you're trying to face. I learned that we must actively seek to deconstruct and understand the new technologies that surround us and incorporate them into our creative process. But the most important thing that I've learned is really that the goal of any interaction, no matter the technology, is to just create an emotional connection with an audience. Thank you very much.